Imagine you are walking in a tropical rainforest in the Amazon basin. Under your feet is a world of absolute order. Millions of individual ants belonging to the genus Camponotus are operating like a perfect biological machine. Each ant is a gear, a cell in a unified superorganism. They have consciousness, goals, and protection from the community. But that freedom is only a chemical illusion. In the air, invisible and silent, millions of spores of the fungus Ophiocordyceps unilateralis are drifting. They do not hunt with speed or strength, they wait. When a spore lands on the tough, chitinous shell of a worker ant, preoccupied with searching for food, a silent invasion begins. There are no screams, no violent resistance. There is only the slightest mechanical pressure as the hyphae begin to secrete specific enzymes to dissolve the host's protective shell. Evolution has gifted this fungus a master key to open the door into the interior of a living organism. Once inside, the script for a true zombie is officially activated. Mechanical possession. Unlike what we often see in science fiction movies, Ophiocordyceps fungi do not attack the brain immediately. If the brain is destroyed, the host will die, and a corpse cannot move. The fungus needs a transport vehicle that is still functional. Upon entering the ant's bloodstream, hemolymph, the fungal cells begin to replicate at a dizzying speed. They do not exist as single individuals. Studies under electron microscopes reveal an astonishing truth. The fungal cells link together, forming a tube-like network surrounding the ant's muscle bundles. It is like a biological control suit worn from the inside. The fungus begins to interfere with the peripheral nervous system, sending out chemical signals to stimulate the ant's limbs to contract. At this point, the ant is still alive. It is still aware of its surroundings, but its body no longer belongs to it. The ant's will is isolated within its own skull, while the hyphae begin to pull the tangled strings of survival. Why did evolution choose this complex path? The answer lies in efficiency. The ant's brain is a sophisticated structure and difficult to control completely. Instead of trying to reprogram a complex operating system, the fungus chooses to directly hijack the hardware, the muscle blocks that control the footsteps. The final journey. A few days after infection, the ant's behavior changes completely. It begins to experience uncontrollable convulsions, causing it to fall from the canopy down to the forest floor vegetation. This is not an accident. It is part of the algorithm. The ant, now an outcast from society, begins a solitary journey that scientists call the zombie walk. Under the control of the fungus, the ant crawls onto the underside of a leaf, but not just any leaf. The Ophiocordyceps fungus is an extremely demanding environmental engineer. It forces the host to find a location at a precise height of about 25 centimeters above the ground. Here, humidity usually remains at 94 to 95%, and the temperature fluctuates from 20 to 30 degrees. This is the Goldilocks zone, the perfect conditions for the fungus to grow, but a death sentence for the ant. At exactly noon, when the sun is at its highest position, the fungus issues the final command. The ant uses all its remaining strength to plunge its upper jaws, mandibles, into the main vein of the leaf. A chemical toxin is released that paralyzes the jaw muscles, locking them firmly in place. The ant has now become a part of the leaf. It can never let go again. The blooming of death. Once the host is securely fixed, the fungus no longer needs to keep the ant alive. It begins to consume the internal organs in a strict order of priority. The least important parts are eaten first, keeping the strongest connective tissues intact so the ant's corpse does not fall. Finally, a thick, rigid hypha begins to grow through the back of the ant's head. It stretches out like a tower rising from a grave. The head of this tower swells into a fruiting body containing millions of spores. When the fruiting body matures, it explodes silently, releasing spore bullets into the air. Thanks to the precise 25-centimeter position the ant chose earlier, these spores will fall exactly onto the trails that other members of the ant colony frequently travel. A death zone of about 1 square meter is established. Any ant passing through is at risk of becoming the next victim of this ruthless cycle. This is a prolonged torture, a total possession from physical body to behavior. But in the natural world, there is no concept of cruelty. There is only optimization. The ruthless gatekeeper. If we view the Ophiocordyceps fungus as a villain, we have missed the larger picture of evolution. In tropical forests, ants are the dominant species. Without control, an ant colony could grow to a massive scale, wiping out all resources and destroying other insect species, leading to a bottom-up collapse of the ecosystem. Parasitic fungi act as a biological brake. When ant density becomes too high, the fungal infection will break out more strongly, pulling the ant population back to a state of balance. The existence of this fungus ensures that no single species becomes too powerful. The horror we feel is actually a sophisticated mechanism to maintain biodiversity. A forest without these zombies would soon become a biological desert of only ants. Lessons from survival. We like to believe we have complete control over our thoughts and actions. But Ophiocordyceps reminds us that life is a game of chemical signals and survival algorithms. Evolution does not care about the pain of the individual ant, nor does it care about human wonder. It only cares about whether the genetic code is passed on to the next generation. The ant dies, but the fungus lives on, and through that, the forest maintains its balance. In the natural world, life and death are not two opposing poles. They are two sides of a coin, connected by thin but strong fungal threads. The truth may be chilling, but it carries a cold beauty of mathematical logic. Everything has its price, and the price of balance is sometimes the freedom of an individual. Nature is neither good nor bad. It simply exists, operating according to rules that humans have only begun to touch the surface of. War of the Superorganisms. But do not mistake that ant colonies are passive victims in this war. Evolution never operates in one direction. This is a biological arms race lasting millions of years between two superorganisms. On one side is the intelligent fungal network, and on the other is the ant society with iron discipline. To protect the survival of the entire colony, ants have developed a system that biologists call social immunity. Worker ants have the ability to detect minute changes in the body odor or behavior of infected siblings. If an ant is detected carrying fungal spores before it can leave the nest, other ants will attack, tear it apart, and carry the pieces of the corpse far away to isolate the source of the disease. It is a ruthless but necessary sacrifice to protect the queen and thousands of larvae inside. However, the Ophiocordyceps fungus also does not stop. To cope, it has learned to become chemically invisible. In the early stages of infection, the fungus secretes inhibitors so that the ant does not exhibit any unusual symptoms. It silently erodes the host from the inside, but keeps the outside cover looking completely healthy and working hard. This betrayal is so sophisticated that by the time the colony realizes something is wrong, the pathogen carrier is already too far out of their control. Even more terrifyingly, recent studies have discovered the existence of hyperparasitic fungi. There are other types of fungi that specialize in hunting the fruiting bodies of Ophiocordyceps themselves as they grow from the ant's head, neutralizing its ability to disperse spores. An overlapping control system where the predator can also become the prey, and the death of one organism is the life source of another. In this arena of survival, there is no concept of a final victory. There is only a fragile state of truce, where each species must constantly evolve more fearsome weapons just to avoid being wiped out. The balance of the forest is not built on harmony, but on an eternal and silent chemical war. In the next episode, we will face a dark shadow gliding across the sky. Its weapon is not venom, but a precision biological syringe. It does not hunt to kill, but searches for a living body to entrust to the next generation. And the safest location that evolution has chosen for those eggs? It is right inside the host's central nervous system. A forced surgery where the victim will clearly feel themselves being eroded from the control room itself.